Jingle All the Way was released in 1996, and in this movie, a workaholic father looks to make up his relationship with his son by buying him a Turbo Man action figure. The only problem is the action figure is sold out everywhere, and then insanity occurs. Alright guys, continuing with our Christmas movie reviews, I really wanted to sit down and watch another movie from my childhood, and I had to review this because this is one of the most insane movies of all time. So let's get into the positives on my nice list. Now look, when we think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, we really think of, his iconic action movies, his crazy one-liners, and of course his amazing delivery.
Put that cookie down! Now!
I know people really don't think of Arnold as a comedic actor, but man, I was actually blown away by how funny he was in this movie. He really went all out, and you can tell watching the movie that he really had fun with this. Even though the script wasn't the best, he literally did the best with what he had, and he made the film more enjoyable. I think if you had somebody else in that role, it would not have been as funny, but because you have Arnold there, and he acts like a complete cartoon in this movie, he's super animated, it just works, and it makes the movie more enjoyable. Arnold is so charismatic that you can't help but love him in any role, even when he plays a bad guy in Terminator. In this movie, when he's a workaholic father, he neglects his son, he keeps breaking promises, he keeps making his family disappointed over and over and over again, but at the same time, once he just cracks that smile, you just can't help but fall in love with him all over again. So that's what's so good about Arnold in this movie, is that no matter what he does, you can't help but root for him. Another huge positive for me is the comedy. Now, this movie is like prime 90s comedy insanity.
What did I say?
These guys are looking for a Turbo Man?
A gentleman dog, yes.
There's so much over-the-top stuff that's going on. I think the best running joke of this movie is that everybody hates Turbo Man's sidekick Booster.
You know what? We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful saber-tooth tiger Booster.
We have plenty of Turbo Man's faithful pet tiger Booster in stock.
We don't want it! We don't want it! And by the way...
We don't like you, Dad! We hate you, Booster!
Why do people hate Booster so much? He's a good guy. I feel so bad for him throughout this entire movie. Like, he's just like, hey, I'm Booster, I'm the animal sidekick to Turbo Man, the coolest superhero in the world. They're just like, screw you, Booster, we hate you, we don't like you. And you're just like, oh my god, that's so awful to hear. Sticking with the comedy, the biggest conflict is not that the Turbo Man action figure is sold out everywhere, it's that everyone and their mothers wants this stupid hunk of plastic. At one scene, Arnold decides to go to the mall because it was revealed that that store has a very limited stock of the action figure. Because there's so many people there, they're like, okay guys, we don't have enough, so we're gonna hold a lottery. So they have these lottery balls, they throw them in the air, and it's like watching hell right before your eyes because they're killing each other, trampling each other, beating each other up just to get this toy for Christmas. And I think Arnold has the best line of this entire scene.
He got two! He got two!
The mailman!
If we're going to talk about the comedy, the best part of this movie easily is Sinbad. So Sinbad plays this psychotic mailman who does whatever it takes to get that Turbo Man action figure for his son. He's kind of shown as like the main antagonist of the film, that he keeps getting in Arnold's way of getting the toy. But I think his best scene is when both of them are at a radio station because they tried to win this contest to win the toy. The cops show up and Sinbad takes out this package and he goes, look, this is a bomb. There's been a lot of bombs lately in these packages because America is sick. So look, I'm gonna throw this and I'm gonna get out of here. And obviously he thinks it's fake. So he pretends it's a bomb and he fools the cops. He drops it there and he leaves, but then this happens.
But a harmless Christmas package.
That was really a bomb? Just a sick world we're living in. Sick people.
Sick! This is a sick world we're living in. Sick people. What's also great is that, like, you can't help but root for the guy. Like, seriously, like, I loved him. Even though he was psychotic, he tries to straight up kill people. You can't help but love the guy, even though he's gonna go to prison at the end of the movie. He gets arrested, and he's easily gonna do 10 to life. Another part that I love is that it really shows the comedy that is shopping in America during Christmas season. You just see how evil and scary people get during the holidays trying to get these toys for their kids to make their kids happy and also to make themselves look good in front of their family. The fact that this movie came out in '96 and I still relate to it to this day really scares me because Guys, we've been going through this today. I mean, we saw how crazy we got over toilet paper. We saw how people are just straight up hurting each other over the PS5. And I know we like to laugh at people like beating each other up and trampling each other, but that actually happens in real life, which is really terrifying to think about. It's just such a weird relatability of desperate holiday shopping. And look, I get it, we all want nice things, but at the same time, there's nothing worth getting trampled over. Like, oh my god, the thought of some old lady coming and just bashing my head on the floor to get this toy for Christmas honestly terrifies me, and I don't want to experience that at all. Alright, so now I want to get to my negatives on my naughty list. Now, I think a big negative for me is the entire character of Ted.
Oh, these cookies!
Ted is played by comedic legend Phil Hartman. Now, don't get me wrong, the lines he says in this movie are really funny, and I laugh at some of them, but there's really no point to his character. If I could describe Ted in one word, it would be perverted. Like, seriously, his entire character arc is just trying to get with other women as much as possible, but his main goal is to try and sleep with Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in this movie. And it's really creepy. Like, it's really disturbing. He goes over to his house and he forcefully eats her sugar cookies that she makes. It's just so creepy. And the fact that he's like not really hiding it from Arnold in this movie is just weird. It's just that there was no point of his character. Like, he was funny, but there really wasn't a point of him, because you already had an antagonist in Sinbad, and you also had a non-physical antagonist, Society, because of how people are just obsessed with trying to get stuff and trying to kill each other over it. I don't think you need Ted's character, you know, to kind of complete that weird arc. There just really was no point of him. Now, while the comedy is great, not all of it works. You know, sometimes the acting is bad, but I think the worst part is that weird subplot with the reindeer. So Ted decides to buy his son a reindeer, and he also gets it for the whole neighborhood, which is really nice. But it turns out this reindeer absolutely hates Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. Like, he just absolutely tries to kill him every chance he gets. And it just didn't work for me. Like, it was just way too over the top. Every time that those scenes came on, I just was like, oh, I kind of want to fast forward through this. I just want to get to the holiday shopping part. I just wish that they kind of did something else. Maybe explore more of Sinbad's character. Maybe kind of have like an origin. I think it would have been cool to have kind of like a backstory, seeing Sinbad's son and how he wants to get that toy for him. But other than that, yeah, it didn't work. And my final negative is the ending of this movie. So at the end, Arnold Schwarzenegger goes to the parade where his family is, but he accidentally somehow takes the place of the guy who was supposed to be Turbo Man. So Arnold becomes Turbo Man at the parade, and he's giving out this big Turbo Man action figure for one special kid, so he picks out his son. Obviously. So he picks out his son, he goes, here you go. Now the problem is that Sinbad takes out the actor that was supposed to play Turbo Man's evil villain, Dementor, which as a Harry Potter fan is hilarious that his name is Dementor. Sinbad becomes Dementor, and then they have this huge, fight at the end, this crazy CGI fight, and a bunch of stuff happens. So at the end, Jamie, the kid, gets the toy and everything's good, they're all happy, but he decides, hey, in the spirit of Christmas, I'm gonna give it to Sinbad's character. First of all, if I was the kid's father, I'd be like, do you know what I've been through today? I have had people try to kill me. I've had to fight evil Santa Clauses. I've had to fight evil elves. I've had a cop that's been tailing me the entire time. I had to deal with a bomb being exploded at a radio station, and you're telling me you don't want this toy? You know what, Jamie? You're grounded for no reason. Also, I'm taking the toy for myself. I'm keeping it because this is my reward for the hell I've been through today. Are you kidding me? Do you know what he's been through today? That is insane how at the end he's like, yeah, you know what? I really don't want the toy. I'd kill him. I'd straight up kill him. I'd go to prison. I'd be so upset right now. Overall, guys, Jingle All the Way is a classic, hilarious Christmas movie. I always watch it every year along with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Those two movies are like holiday staples for me. Every year when Christmas comes around, I have to watch those movies. So I'm going to give it a B+. Super funny, super hilarious. I wish Arnold did more comedic movies, during his career, but it is what it is, and I'm glad he gave us this movie. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.